Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Computer Wednesday, we're going to talk about AI token maxing disaster that happened surprisingly quickly, 2 years. So what exactly is the deal with quote unquote tokens? So here's the, what is AI? AI is just a compute task, as in like you put some number gets crunched, the end. There is nothing more than that. So here's the problem. How the heck you meter it? Because here's the, it's a utility, right? You are offering AI as a service. So that creates a paradox. You could have a scenario where, let's say you sold AI to 10,000 people. 9,000 people will barely use it. Like there will be some oddity day one, there will be some use. After that is like meh, or once in a while. But you could have few people who are using so much that you are running the whole enterprise in negative. So basically you need an active way of monitoring it, measuring it, the input and the output. So to do that, to do actual billing, because again, that's a very big deal with corporate customer. For example, imagine you just said free shipping. Again, what are you shipping? Hey, is a free shipping on a small things, not that big of a deal. Free shipping on a truck, yeah, no. So that's the fundamental. Or again, free shipping, how many are you allowing shipping? Like let's say 1 per day or 10 per day. 10 per day will bankrupt you. So fundamentally, there are checks and balances, and those checks and balances require you to know what the hell is going on. So we need a unit of measurement. So again, token became the name, which allows us for actual billing, meaning how the heck you're going to bill your customer that is actually consuming a lot versus a customer that is not consuming a lot. You want to say, hey, you consumed this many token, we fixed plan 10,000 token, and if you go above that, this is the price. You consume 50,000 token, here's the bill. So again, you will not stop any one of them, but like, if you like, oh, what if they leave? Because they are physically costing you money. So because there are physical cost, as in power, you have to pay electricity, water, you have to consume that puppy, and infrastructure cost, basically the billions of dollars you took a loan to build those things, and not to mention profit, because again, if all of this and profit is not there, why the hell you are doing it? So fundamentally speaking, you need a measurement unit. So we took tokens, and what is the cost of that token that goes into this whole system? Basically cost of the power, water, infrastructure, employee cost and all that, and divided by the profit. So that gives you a context. And good news about this is, in a capitalistic society, that it gives incentive to both puppies, as in it gives incentive to sellers to optimize. Meaning, let's say there are two companies. Let's say there is Meta and then there is Claude. Claude burns through basically token for their system, but their system is good. So what can Claude do? Well, here's the, it can just sit on it, or it can work its ass off to increase profit margin. How can it do that? Make it efficient. Meaning, let's say they are on A100, go to A200. Let's say they had a water bill that is going too high, and let's say they started to work on air cooling systems directly rather than consuming evaporative cooling. You can do that. I'm not joking, there is an actual coal power plant that nowadays run on without evaporative cooling. So it does not drink water. It's called air cooled condenser. It can be done. It's just huge. Like it's huge, like more huge than Donald Trump huge. So it can be done. But again, if they do it, they reduce their water expenditure, voila, their tokens is costing them less, meaning they have two choices. Either A, make more profit, B, make their models and services far more cost competitive. So that's the good end on the seller side, who is selling the tokens. Buyer side, because buyer is built on the token, not just like, oh, I have this service, a TV has a fixed cost. Like let's say a dish TV, because how dish TV was designed, that dish is there in the air, it's a real time, so it's gonna play. You want people to watching it. If they are not watching it, it's not affect you. But AI is not like that. If people are not using it, you're happy. It's like, yeah. It's like same thing with undersea fiber cable. You will think like they are being utilized like one-to-one. No, they oversell it. The idea is most of the people will not use it at the same time. So it gives that incentive where it's like, hey, wouldn't it be nice if I used my own brain, books and all that to do it? Because if I just keep using AI for everything, it's going to bankrupt me. So it gives incentive on both ends. A, do production of tokens as low cost as possible. B, consume as least tokens as possible. So that's a normal system. It's the easiest way to understand is token is kilowatt hour, basically your power consumption. And the same rule applies here. Basically, a power plant, let's say a coal power plant, it is in its best interest to reduce the coal consumption. Nothing else, not even environment or nature. It will make them richer if they consume less carbon. So they're like, hey, What if, I upgrade my boilers? What if I clean the systems? What if instead of waiting until something breaks to service it, what if I do a periodic system? Compared to a coal power plant that does not do that, Cuba happens. So fundamentally, it is incentivized in both way in a capitalistic system to optimize that. However, let that be a kilowatt hour is a kilowatt hour. It's the same in China, same in Cuba, same in Germany, same in India. However, AI tokens are arbitrary unit. That's the biggest hassle for it. You can go into math, but it's if this, then that, if this, then that. It's all hululu mathematics. So it's arbitrary unit. Basically compute per token, actual hardware efficiencies, cost of electricity, because again, you could have the best server, the best hardware, best everything. But let's say you are in a city that does not have cheap electricity, lol. So all of these things create a mess. It's like how the heck you define a token. Like how efficient, like how many nodes it has to have. Like it's not even like, okay, 10 nodes equal 1 token. Or 10 nodes running 50 operations equal 1 token. It's always messy. So just assume that's why we call it tokens. It's not logical. You can't define it scientifically as kilowatt hour or something like that. So Tokenmaxxing. Now this individual, I have a feeling that when we are all born, we have a grounding rod, earthing. Basically, it grounds to you the ground. But I think once you become billionaire for long enough, I think that grounding rod dissolves and you become cuckoo. Be it Elon Musk, be him. Like he was actually saying, I would be worried if my high-paying programmers are not consuming tokens. I'm like, that actually means you're enjoy. Again, you give them task, they have to finish the task. There is nothing else that a management can do other than that. You give them that the task is done, no tokens is consumed, that guy is God. So, but no, you have to spend a token. So, and this again, this is surprisingly shocking, quick damage. So 2024 it started, and by early 2020, right now, people are like, yeah, this is stupid. Now, most analytics says that it started with Gemini, because you have to understand that right now AI does not have a what you call memory. Everything is in context, everything is in token. Basically, it's literally does not have a hard drive. It runs on literally tokens. So again, it's hard to describe, but it's not there. As in, I have experienced this. I was talking with Gemini for Roro train service system. I specifically tell it, this is the 3 companies that make Roro services trolleys. Please remember this. Like, yeah, I got this. Even had conversation about those things. So I knew that it understood that. Now, again, it's in the same session. The chat is going long. We are having discussion. And then I asked it like, hey, can you please remind me? Again, I have very poor memory, so it's hard for me. Those 3 company names. I could not find any companies. And I'm like, no, I told you to save it. Did you save? Again, it even showed that message saved and all that. Nothing. Because again, there is no memory. So what we call a running out of context. Again, it could have been that I'm on a free tier. So once it becomes long enough, it's like, lol, it has to, well, it won't unless I pay. So Gemini created a shock in the world where it was like, we can do 1 million token, meaning now you can upload almost books worth of PDFs rather than just like, 10, 50 pages PDF. So that created a war. It's like, okay, we can do even more tokens. So it went from loading chunks of code to loading the whole goddamn GitHub, so to say. So it started, and right now we have crossed 10 million, token input. So it can digest a very large buffet, so to say, at this point in time. Meaning you can actually, in certain programs, you can literally say, hey, fix this GitHub. It will repository. It will take care of the whole repository. It is that wide of a context. It can gouge all of it. So that became the starting point. Now, management got into a trouble. The CEOs, the people who were smoking, they're like, hey, we're going to invest in the AI. It's going to boost our productivity. Okay, cool, sir. Great. Awesome. How much money you paid? You paid billions of dollars for this untested technology? Okay. How the heck we verify that it's for actually used? You don't. How would you know? Like if you give someone task for 5 days, it's like, they're just going to say whatever you want to hear. How the heck you going to check? Management can't check it. So this creates what we call goodwill law, so to say. As in, imagine you are a buyer, and you are like, hey, I need nails. How do you define it? Well, if you do not define it very precisely, or 90% of the time, if you define it wrong, it will backfire. For example, you define number of nails. The more nails, the better. Well, tada, they're just going to flood you with tiny nails. Or you're like, oh, heavier nails are the great nails. It's like, okay, they're going to give you a big giant nails. You are stuck. Again, the Soviet Union also found this problem the hard way. They're like, oh, we're not gonna mark the rivet. Americans are like, who the hell made that metal? Which forgery, forge it came from? Who made? Like, all of those were tracked. And Soviet Union, we do not track it. And all companies started to sell out crappy things. Only if basically what you call Titanic's upper hull side had proper rivets, it might have tanked. But crappy rivets, bad things. History is filled with that. So nothing to do with Soviet Union, but you get the point. Like, that's why we learnt it the hard way. The shell track what the hell is going on. So many times we create metrics that has bad side effect. And the most common example, which I'm pretty sure must be taught to you in school, is that there was a city had flooding with rats, and then they were like, okay, how the heck they started to pay people. It's like, yeah, I killed 10 rats. It's like, okay, here's your money. It's like everybody was saying that they killed, but there was no proof, and not to mention rats were still there. So they're like, okay, bring me tails. But like, if you show 10 tails, we'll give you money for 10 tails. Here's the deal. If you twink the tail, the rat is still fertile. It's still gonna breed. So they're like, tails, you got 10 tails, but there are now more rats. Now you got 20 tails. You are paying for the tails. But again, it became a tail harvesting system rather than actually mouse eradicating. So people have learned this the hard way, that you have to quantify things precisely, or quantify the result rather than the outcome, so to say, rather than the metric itself. So management was stuck in that scenario. It's like, okay, my company upper heads smoked something, they burnt billions of dollars. We have this workforce. How the heck we know that both of them are in line or like, utilizing each other? Well, they could not. Again, if they did, they would be programmers. If they're not, they're in management. It's almost like you go to a machine shop, right? Again, I'm dealing with that Ahiravat CNC part right now. So there are programmers like good. I'm not talking just basic program. I'm like good programmers. They can literally, you give them one part and you're like, okay, we're going to make this 10 times. They're going to try different programs and they will give you settings where it's like, hey, this setting, it chews through the end mills, but it gives you part very quickly. So we're going to like, okay, we're going to save this file. This is rush order. We're going to charge extra because again, we're going to consume end mill. And then the management is like, okay, we're going to like, market it this way. It's like, bro, are you sure you want to this rush order? Because again, we can do it, but it's going to cost you a pretty penny. Only if it's bad enough, urgent enough, only then you're going to make money. And again, customer will be happy. It's like, hey, they told you. And then there are other program which will be like, okay, we're going to be very conservative about it. Our end mills will last very long, but then they have to tune it. It's like, so it does not take too long. All of these things have to go into it. A management does not understand that. Same thing happens in programming, just worse. Because it looks like, oh, just tell ChatGPT to make things. So token became a metric. The moment that happened, rat tail event happened. So they're like, okay, they started to create leaderboard. And at that point, I'm like, we should ban coding. Like, at that point, I'm like same way this guy's lost earthing. I'm pretty sure all management just like went kaboom. Like burning tokens equal high output employee. Not joking. And I'm actually worried that there may be a chance an employee might have got promotion on that. I'm like, that is stupid. But more than enough people have told me that has happened. Now, here's the deal. So far, that was not that bad last year, but then Agentic Craze happened. Agentic AI, basically creating a whole AI agent for you. Now, what's the big deal? Well, the old models were like, if I'm asking ChatGPT to make a program for me, ChatGPT is going to give me a system. I'm going to paste it here, then I'm going to do things, and then it's like, oh, it did not compile. This is the error. Copy paste it. So I'm doing the work. ChatGPT is just there as a clever assistant. But agents is like, it does work for you, as in you have a programmer. It's like, hey, ChatGPT, make me this program. I'm working on one program. If you have access to my GitHub, you can see that. And it's like, okay, ChatGPT will like open VS Code. It will start writing code on it. It will start to try to compile throws error. It can see the error. It will process. I do not have to interfere. It's basically a programmer that is working on the side. So on paper, it can actually automate tasks, and people have amazing success with small tasks. Nothing like big or crazy, but there are a lot of like, what you call repetitive, annoying tasks. A lot of people have found amazing success with that. It's like, whoa, I had to do this. This was frustrating. It's like, done, got it, good. So is there on paper, it should allow to give you more useful results, because what's the point of a code block that does not compile? But if it's doing everything itself, it will know that it does not work, and it will not proceed further with it. It will do the change. It will try to fix it. So all of it. However, this ability to go through iterations, the cycles, the feedback, burns tokens, meaning you go from, oh, 1,000 token, 10,000 token, 50,000 token to million tokens, a billion tokens. So yeah, that puppy consumes token like there is no tomorrow. And it made up, basically, before this, you employed, basically you rewarded people for Tokenmaxxing. Now this agentic made them super easy. They're like, fix this GitHub, the end, go home. It's gonna burn the tokens. And yeah, happened. Not even joking, it happened. And basically it created turbo loops, started to burn through. Like, again, you must be hearing like, oh, this company burnt like their whole year's budget of tokens in like, 6 months. It's like, how that happened? And then like, amateurs, I'm gonna burn so much token in 5 minutes. I'm not joking, people have cracked it. So it was disaster waiting to happen. And even simple commands started to burn millions, because again, you can easily show the management, hey, why your simple things are consuming so much? It's like, hey, be accurate, be sure about it, click all of those things. It will burn through all the tokens. So yeah, and here's the problem with that. There was no work being done. Token became that, like, rat tail became the thing rather than eradication of rat. So bugs remain the same. Your stuff, now you have far more higher security, far higher slop, and people who can fix it, they're just giving up. They're like, bro, let me get me early retirement. Like, this sort of mess looks cool, it's still a mess. So consequence happened. And again, turns out tokens are not free, no matter how good the hardware is, no matter how great the data center is. Heck, let's say you built it in Alaska and it's freezing cold. You don't even have to worry about it. It's like, bro, we good. People are paying for that heat. We good, brother. Even if it's that, and you have like undersea fiber directly going there, all of that, you still are burning money. Little, yes, but burning. For example, let's say I have a car that barely gives me, before E20 brain damage, it was giving me like 22 km per liter. Now, let's say I'm making a series hybrid and I can achieve, let's say, 30 or 35. Now, because it's 30, 35, I'm like, I can drive more. And here's the deal. Then I'm like, why the heck I'm burning more fuel? Oh yeah, I'm driving more. We Indians have this problem. It's like electricity came very recently. So we had light bulbs, like, filament bulbs. It was very expensive. And then we went to CFLs. It was like supposed to same way. Our bill did not went up, it only went up. Then we went from CFL to LEDs. Our bill went up even more. It's like, why the hell that's happening? Because as lights became cheaper and supposed to be lower energy consumption, we started to put more of it. So same thing happens with bad feedback loop, so to say. If you make something more efficient and more ergonomic, does not mean there is no demand for it, or demand stops. Many times demand spikes. So that happened, and there was a delay in the reaction for few reasons. First, the hype. Second, the billing cycle happens what we call annually. It's not monthly. So even if somebody is checking it, they're not going to check it. And not to mention how the contracts are done. If, let's say, your contract token budget was 500 million tokens, you burn through it, company might not just charge you more. They might be like, okay, we have to do it because that's in the contract. Again, that's what CA do. They'll be like, okay, but next year we're going to cancel their contract. And when that does not work, they're going to contact us and we're like, you exceeded the budget, increase your payment. Again, depending how good, which side CA was better. So based on that, you will get either that or like, hey, you keep using it as much as you want. It's just that we're going to give you a bill even though you thought, hey, I already prepaid for this. So again, there was a delay. First year, nobody cares about it because again, it's the hype cycle, it's the R&D budget, you go YOLO on it. But if it starts to become 2 year, 3 year, then you start like, wait a minute, why we are burning money? Because eventually, even a stock-driven crazy things have to show profit. So that is there. And reasoning trap that happened recently, yeah, that's like, it's not consuming tokens, it's devouring it. So yeah, 1 year money burning is okay, that's okay, acceptable. But years of it, that's no. And at this point in time, it's literally reached a point where it's like they're just burning money. There is no tangible benefit because again, 1 year, nobody cares, R&D. But 2 years, 3 years, okay, what are we gaining for paying like, hundreds of billions of dollars? So basically the employee, they were paying $20,000. Employee plus AI, they're saying $200,000. What's the point? This is why a few days ago, you're starting to hear Microsoft data shows the AI agents cost more than human workers. Like basically, it would have been cheaper for them to have more workers and they started to rotate them effectively rather than working them till death. It was like, bro, instead of paying 200,000, we're gonna pay you 20,000. We're gonna hire another member. We're gonna only pay them 20,000, but you're gonna distribute the workload effectively. But again, that happened again. Nvidia. That's why I said that. I think once you become billionaire for long enough, your earthing rod dissolves. So like the cost of compute is far beyond the cost of employees. Again, let that be clear. This should not have happened from day one. This should not have happened. But again, this is a goodwill's problem, a rat tail problem. Replacing humans with AI turns out to be costlier than expected. Uber, same thing. And all of these are very recent. So it was to be expected. Like this was almost like a disaster that was making. The only good news is it's wrapping up very quickly. Although I think the bubble, now the collateral damage boom is about to happen. So what can we expect in the future? Well, reality is the bubble has already busted. People knew about this. And again, you have to understand that. I'm assuming you have watched my last week's detailed breakdown on how the heck these AIs are being funded when they are not making money. There's a very clever mathematics into it. It's called basically market blackmailing. Work your ass off, become bonkersly high IPO, force yourself into index fund, and then it's everybody else's problem. If you collapse, government will have to bail you out. So you're good, you're done, you're safe. Who bears the penalty? Well, pension funds and inflation. That's the penalty. Basically, that two things becomes collateral damage when they try to recover it. So yeah, that's why the time period for NASDAQ, that's supposed to be 3 months, because again, panic and hype generally die out in 1 month. So if they had to force you, it's like, wait, for 3 months, people were like, wait a minute. This SpaceX brain damage is not actually SpaceX, because again, SpaceX only burns $2 billion per month. Per year. Not that bad. Starlink prints $10 billion per year. Not bad. Great. Even if both are combined, you are still talking a company that is $5 billion in profit. That's like shut up, take money. Great. But what they do not tell you, which again, be mindful, it's written in the paper. It's not hidden. It's in the plain sight. In February 2026, Elon Musk is like, I'm going to destroy the people's future because F yeah. I'm going to basically take XAI and merge it into the SpaceX and still call it SpaceX, even though XAI is $50 billion penalty annually, burning money annually. You don't have enough profit in Starlink to make it up. But again, because the timeline was shrunk, and I cannot tell you like how sad it made me to see so many people hyping it up. I saw an Indian guy doing that in freaking LinkedIn, man. Like, I'm like, bro, we're supposed to be Indian. We're supposed to read the goddamn fine print. It's there. It's XAI. Yes, it's not called XAI, but it is XAI. But again, now it's in the index fund. And because of the market distortion law, again, this is legislature's fault. You're not supposed to allow index fund like that. Index fund is supposed to be what you call equal weighted. As in, like, if Nifty 50 in India is supposed to have 50 companies, each company should only have 2% of the total pool. If you are in NASDAQ, there's supposed to be 100 company and each company should only have 1%. But it is market weighted, meaning 5 to 10 AI companies like Nvidia, XAI, Claude, and all these things go, they could take as much as 10 to 35%. That is disastrous, because when the bubble actually bursts, again, how would NASDAQ pay? Like if like, oh, bubble is busting, okay, give me my money back. Where is that money coming from? They don't have cash. They have to sell healthy stocks. Now you start to flood the market with healthy stocks. Healthy stocks value go down. Now you have to sell even more to pay whoever is leaving after the first investor who realized that it's a sinking ship. Market crash, 2000 dot-com bubble. Market crash, 2008 housing bubble crash. It's the same thing. It's basically economic blackmail. So that's where they're hiding. That's why government is like, we're going to ban Claude. Why? So we can make money. It's basically what you call insider trading. They're like, we're going to ban it. We're going to hype it up. You're going to do IPO. It's going to be multi-billion dollars or multi-trillion dollars. And we're going to sell it. And then we're going to chill. And then you're going to die. So that's happened. Past tense. And it's happening. It's going to be brutal. I'm pretty sure even dollar and rupees, they're going to fall like missile. So what can we do now? Well, right now, all the engineers, they're working on new math and architecture systems. The math that we are using, the neural network mathematics, or it was created in 1980s. A Nobel Prize was given 2 or 3 years ago. So there are new mathematicians, new ideas, new concept of crunching that system. People are working on it. That has to do. And again, system architecture. It's Mark 1 product. It's like first iPhone. You have no idea how far we can go. So that has to happen before AI actually becomes good. Now, there is a delusional desire that is limiting the progress in AI, which is all-knowing AI. Basically, make a Jarvis that does everything. Yeah, that's not possible yet, and you may not want it. Again, let that be clear. You may not want it, not only for cost reason, but also for conflict. Creating something that is so good, it might become vicious. Like again, if you ask it to do everything, not only it will burn through trillions of tokens, it will have conflict. You do not want conflict. You don't want AI to be confused because it knows ethics also. You don't want it to be. Or again, if it's supposed to deal with ethics, it should not deal with programming, because again, they are two very different systems. So again, fundamentally, this desire, like one AI to do everything, that's the problem. However, we can still achieve it. Like we can still have our cake and eat it too. Is that we have to tailor make it to one task. For example, right now, your medical industry is going YOLO on basically AI. For example, if you go into a Canon-based CT scanner, they have AI systems. How the heck it works? Well, the idea is you're going to reduce your X-ray dose. Basically, X-ray light will be dimmer. But here's the deal. Why don't we do that? Well, it makes a very noisy image. It's very hard to understand it. They trained an AI model because again, Canon makes the X-ray emitters and sensors specifically. They had enough data. They trained it as like, okay, what happens if you have brightness, full brightness, GG brightness, super clean, crisp, but you are frying the person? It's like, okay, tick, 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 tick. They trained the algorithm. That AI does one thing, takes the image, filters the image, makes it crisp as if it was done by very bright X-ray source. That's today. Now here's the, how do they make sure that it's not hallucinating? Well, there's a physics engine that mathematically checks all the things. It's like, whoa. If X-ray source was here in this rotational coordinate, why the heck your X-ray source is here? It's like, nope. And physics has the final say. It's like, nope, physics engine filters it out. That's today. That's useful. That's working. People are happy. Mid-Journey is literally betting on that. And again, it could work. I don't trust AI company, but their path is at least not full brain damage. So if you make an AI that is locked to one thing, it's going to be amazing. It's going to do things. And again, I think one thing we have cracked, human-machine interface has been cracked. Basically, Jarvis is the biggest thing, is that Jarvis can have what you call conversation with people. You can have conversation today. Again, I'm old enough where I remember like the very early internet chatbots and all that. Those were hilarious. Like if you watch old movies, they were like, computer, please turn on the TV. Like from there to, it's like, Alexa, do this, Siri, do this, ChatGPT, do this. So fundamentally, we have done that, like voice conversation that is done. So we have to basically make sub-agents that are tailor-made for one thing. For example, one sub-agent, I only know C, everything on C, every library on C, everything aspect that like takes the C and goes into the assembly code and all that, it knows C. And what about instruction set? Another thing that knows instruction set architecture. You do not contaminate it with this. Like basically, you will have Gaia. A Gaia is going to have a conversation like, okay, I need a website. HTML guy, go make the HTML. CSS guy, go make the HTML. And all I will do is the management, which can be done today. I have to say, I would urge you to watch this concept in this game, Horizon Zero Dawn. I have to say, like whoever came up Horizon Zero Dawn 1 genuinely had some good ideas. Like I have digested enough science fiction that now almost nothing is new. This was like, damn. That was like almost, damn, I could not even think of that. But it was good, I have to say. So the idea was the Gaia is the primary AI, but again, how the heck a Gaia is going to take care of so many problems? Well, you're going to have other AIs, like, you're going to have Artemis, you're going to have, what the hell is that? Demeters? Okay, so you're going to have Hades and all that. Basically, sub-AIs who are like, okay, one is for creation, one is for destruction, one is for knowledge, one is for management and all that. Basically, all other things. So that's how what we need right now. Basically, agents that have sub-agents working on it. And sub-agents that are almost like a, not full AI, some amount of what you call feedback loop, but not full-fledged human. How the heck I'm supposed to have conversation with human? No. It's just like there will be a dedicated AI, which will have ethics and all that. Programmer is like, okay, ethics, what you want, okay, we're going to have this. So this way, you're going to reduce power consumption and it will actually have good yields. By the way, remember, like, there is a very good chance if you have done MRI and CT scan in recent times, you may have already gone through AI systems without knowing it. And again, they are done properly. Many planes have AI systems done properly. So that's the whole essence at this point in time. AI is not going away. If you're thinking, oh, this AI bubble has busted, no financial consequences, wait for it. The consequences is in your pension and ludicrously runaway inflation. And in terms of basically employment, that will not happen. At best, it will slow down the firing rate for a few years, and then it's going to bounce back. Because again, when I'm figuring this out, be mindful, I did not come up with the idea, and it's there in like some mathematical literature in 1980s. So more than enough people. Again, we're not going to have good AI video engines until somebody integrates Blender into it. But what if somebody does? What after that? So same thing with AI system. Somebody will figure it out. Somebody will do it. And then it's like, wow. And again, I know how complex the voice was, how hard it was. We have watched it like this was the easiest thing ever, but how quickly we cracked it and we don't even think about it. That's the reason why I'm scared. But that's the reason why I'm still today. I can guarantee you that, yeah, jobs are not safe in tomorrow. So future is going to be very interesting. So this was my presentation on basically the Tokenmaxxing damage that happened. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst a friend. If you have enjoyed it, hype it up. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you are free, and as always, thanks for watching.